everybody. Okay, today we are going to learn how to find missing angles of a triangle using trig when we have the measures of side lengths. So let's fill in some blanks here. Okay, when we are trying to find a missing angle of a triangle, we use inverse trigonometric functions. Now these keys on the calculator, we can find them by going over that in class. It depends on which type of calculator you have, where these buttons are. So we'll go over that, or maybe we already have before you've watched this video. So let's go ahead and try some examples. First one, solve for the missing angle. Okay, so the first one says sine of angle A equals 0.38. So that means the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse is 0.38. And if we want to find what degree measure has that sine ratio of 0.38, we would use inverse sine. So you would say, okay, angle A, the measure of angle A, equals inverse sine, and that's how we represent inverse sine of 0.38. And then we need our calculators to type that in and actually give us the degree measure. We can also round this to the nearest tenth, so this comes out to be 22.3 degrees approximately. Okay, number 2, if cosine of angle A is 0.21, what degree measure is angle A? So this time we're going to use inverse cosine of 0.21, and we're going to type that into our calculator as well, and that will give us the degree measure of angle A, which comes out to be 77.9 degrees, rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, third one, let's practice tangent, inverse tangent. So if tangent of angle A equals 1.37, what is the degree measure of angle A? So we're going to use inverse tangent, 1.37. So angle A is approximately 53.9 degrees. Okay, so that just gave us some practice getting comfortable with the buttons on the calculator. Now let's try some examples with the triangle. Okay, number 4, find the requested information. Let me go ahead and put SOHCAHTOA on the screen here so we have this to refer to. Okay, so number 4, the first thing it asks for is sine of B. It's not asking for an angle here, it's just asking what is the sine ratio of angle B. That goes back to one of the first days that we started practicing this chapter. So remember, sine here is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so if we're at angle B, then the opposite side is the 7, and the hypotenuse, always across from the right angle, is 25. So sine of B is 7 over 25. Okay, now we want to find what degree measure, what actually is angle B. So to find an angle, we're going to use inverse sine of 7 over 25, and that then we'll use our calculator to figure that out. B, that angle comes out to be approximately 16.3 degrees, angle B. Okay, so the key thing here is we're going to use inverse trig when we're looking for an angle. Alright, next one, number 5. Okay, so in this case it says, what is the measure of angle y? So we see that we need an angle, so we know we're going to need to use inverse trig. But in this case, we're going to have to figure out, well, do we want inverse sine, inverse cosine, or inverse tangent? So it's asking us to look at angle y. Okay, so here, what is the 5 in relation to angle y? This is the adjacent side. And then what is the 13 in relation to angle y? Well, it's across from the right angle, so it's the hypotenuse. Okay, so which trig function, sine, cosine, or tangent, uses adjacent and hypotenuse? That's cosine. So we can say that cosine of y equals adjacent, which is 5, over hypotenuse, which is 13. So then to find the angle y, we're going to use inverse cosine of 5 over 13. And then that will tell us that the measure of angle y is approximately 67.4 degrees. Okay, one more. Number 6. The measure of angle A. All right. So it's asking for an angle again, so we know we're going to need to use trig, inverse trig, to do this. Okay, so let's see. Here, well, we only have a 7 here one time. But notice that there's a slash mark here for side AC and also one here for side BC. That tells us that side AC and side BC are congruent, which means that side BC is also 7 units long. Okay, so now we need to figure out, do we want to use inverse sine, cosine, or tangent? So let's see how these sides compare to angle A. So if we look at angle A, this 7 right next to it is the adjacent side. And then the 7 that's across from it, that's the opposite side. So what uses adjacent and opposite, or opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So we would say that tangent of angle A equals opposite over adjacent, which is 7 over 7. You can simplify that to 1. Okay, so then the measure of angle A, we're going to use inverse tangent. And here you can either type in 7 over 7, or you can simplify it just to 1. So then, using our calculators, what is the measure of angle A? It's exactly 45 degrees. Okay, good job, guys.